Hey y'all, and welcome to Bradley the Singing Chef. Today I am coming to you with a beautiful, easy pasta recipe for dinner. I think you're gonna love this one. It is so super simple because the #1 kitchen tool outside your stove and oven, the food processor, does the majority of the work. So it's gonna be super simple. Let's get in there. All right, I've got a pot of boiling water over here working. I'm gonna make sure that that is super salty because you want all that, almost the taste of the sea, to get into your pasta. I'm using fettuccine today. For this recipe, you could use pretty much any pasta that you want. You could use anything from spaghetti to tortellini, honestly. I'm gonna take this pasta, drop it in the water. By the time this pasta cooks, which this dry pasta, just follow your boxing instructions. Mine says about 12 minutes. And in that time, I will have made everything for this entire dish. And I'm gonna make a big batch. So I'm gonna use this whole box of pasta. I like to break it in half, just saves me a step once my fork gets in action later. So get that in there. I'm gonna do a little drizzle of olive oil into the boiling water, just so that pasta hopefully doesn't stick. Keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't. And we will get going. Another trick, if you see that your heat has gotten too high and your pasta starts to boil over, I always use a wooden spoon when I'm making pasta because there's a trick, and I don't know the science behind it or the wives' tale behind it, but it always works. If you put that wooden spoon over your boiling water, it will never boil above that point. I don't know why, it just works. Try it if you have that issue. All right, let's get going. So, this is a super easy recipe because #1, we are using 2 store-bought jarred ingredients for this raw sauce. It's not even a cooked sauce. And the food processor is seriously going to do the majority of the work for us. So, pull this lid back on my food processor, and away we go. First thing I'm gonna put in there, 10-ounce jar of green olives that I have already drained. There may be a little bit of residual brine in there, but you don't want a ton of liquid to go in there. So 10-ounce jar of green olives. They can have pimentos in the center or not, they just have to be pitted. Pop those in your food processor. That is done. Then I have a jar of sun-dried tomatoes. These are already julienne cut sun-dried tomatoes. They're in an oil mixture that I've drained the majority of. Just a really quick drain with the lid into your sink or disposal. We'll get rid of the majority of the oil. It's okay if there's a little bit in there because in fact oil is going to help us later with this sauce. This is an 8.5-ounce jar. You could use anywhere between 8 and 10 ounces of these julienne beautiful sun-dried tomatoes. In they go. The end. Okay, now let's get going on the rest of this stuff. The next thing I'm going to put into the food processor is some garlic. Every pasta in my life needs garlic. I've got 2 cloves that I've already peeled, and all I'm going to do is literally go 1, 2, 3 cuts and chop off the end root. So it's a literal rough chop because this food processor is going to do all the rest of the work. Same thing with the second clove, 1, 2, 3rd little tiny slice just to get through that root and get that out of there because you don't want that. Then I have about 1/4 cup of basil leaves. Basil is already so lemony, and lemon is going to be one of the major players in this sauce. I mean, it perfumes all the way through this bad boy. All right, so my basil is in. Next thing I need is the zest and juice of 2 lemons. So Let's zest this first lemon. I turn my zester or microplane upside down so that I catch the zest in the top of it. That also keeps an eyeball for me on just how much zest I'm getting. But you want to be careful to not scrape into the white pith of the lemon. That is bitter. But the yellow exterior zest is where a ton of flavor is. Once you see that you've got the majority of your lemon covered, you've got a pretty good pile of zest, just tap, tap, tap that into your processor. Set that to the side, let's zest the second one. I love this dish so much because it's so stinking simple. I don't have to wait for hours for a sauce to simmer. I literally have to just wait for some pasta to cook. And while I'm doing that, I make this easy sauce, and it is a winner, y'all. I mean, crowd pleaser. People will think, oh my goodness, you must have spent so much time slaving in the kitchen. Not true. Shh, fire secret. Simple can be delicious, that's what I say. All right, got another lemon worth of zest. Scrape all that extra zest off the back side into there. Then take those lemons, cut them in half. You know a normal juicing method, which is to pop this knife into the center. Gonna turn it upside down to catch seeds. Squeeze all that good lemon juice in there. I missed a seed, I will admit, so I'm gonna pop that out of there. Don't need that. This lemon had more seeds than I've ever seen in my life. Luck of the draw, you just never know. All right, so that is one lemon. Second lemon, check your pasta, stir it a bit just to get everything working together in the jacuzzi. All right, let's get this other lemon juice. And see, like this lemon has like 0 seeds. You just never know what nature is gonna give you. All right. 1/2, 2 halves. And folks, that is it. The only other thing I'm gonna put into this food processor is a little bit of kosher salt, pinch, and a pinch of black pepper. Now, last thing that needs to go in here along with all this is olive oil. It's kind of like we're making a pesto or a tapenade, where you're gonna drizzle the olive oil in as the food processor does the work. Maybe about, I don't know, 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup of olive oil is going to go in here. There's already a little bit of that residual oil from the sun-dried tomatoes, so it's going to help us out along the way. And we are going to whir this baby, let it do its work. Here we go. Drizzle a little in, turn it on. Come on. Goodness, it already looks just freakishly amazing. Here's just gonna scrape down the edge of the bowl in case there's any extra basil that didn't get chopped in the mix. Pop it on. One quick pulse like that and your sauce is done. Like, you're totally finished with your pasta sauce. That's it. It's super, super simple. All right, so take this actually off and set this aside so that I got a little bit of room to work on this tiny station. Some things over here that I don't need to the side. All right, now my pasta has been going for a while, but it still needs actually a few more minutes to get to al dente, which is where I want it. So I'm gonna let this pasta keep cooking for a few more minutes. I told you this sauce was quick. I mean, the pasta's not even done. So once this pasta is ready to go, I'll be right back. Hey y'all, we are back. All right, my pasta is almost right at al dente, so it's time to put this all together. All right, now a lot of people will take this pasta and drain it out into a colander. I think you lose a lot there. That salty water is part of what we're gonna want to help this sauce take shape, okay? So I'm gonna actually use tongs in my bowl, and I'm just gonna turn off my heat, and I'm gonna drag this pasta into my mixing bowl. And if I get water, that's okay. We actually want that. Might be a little messy. Trust me, it's worth it. And it's actually easier than messing up a colander and having to wash it later. All this fettuccine in here. We can. Almost there, guys. All right, now the next step, rather than just Parmesan in the sauce, I want Parmesan cheese to flavor this pasta. So I'm gonna actually grate Parmesan right on the pasta before I even get the sauce in the mix. So take your Parmesan cheese and make it rain. Maybe about a quarter of a cup or so. Fresh grated Parmesan. Grate it right in there. Take your tongs and toss. Getting a little bit of parm on every noodle in your batch. Now that my water's settled down, I see there's some more in the bowl. So I'm gonna grab that, because I don't want to waste it. All right. A little bit more parm, just to get those last noodles that I just took out. I mean, there's nothing wrong with more cheese, right? Awesome. Toss that around. Yes, and now we are ready for sauce. All right, I'm gonna take my blade out of my processor and tap this mineral sauce that's on that. Put this in here with my garbage. And then we are ready to scoop out this beautiful, fresh, lemony, salty goodness that is this raw sauce that we made. And then, again with your tongs, toss everything together. Get that sauce in there, swirling around, and the help of that residual water that came out of the starchy water that came out of our pasta bowl, when we pulled it, is just making this so silky and luxurious. I mean, I can't believe how easy this is, and it is a flavor bomb, y'all. All right, time to plate this bad boy up. So to the side. Let's see what we get. Get my tongs in there and twist. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Get a big pile on there. And, as I said earlier, nothing wrong with more cheese. A little bit of parm on the top. Tiny pinch of salt, tiny pinch of pepper. That, folks, is like the easiest homemade pasta dish you've ever made in your life. I've got to try this. I mean, this is a go-to for me, so I know what it tastes like. I'm so excited. Oh, come on. The beautiful tanginess of the sun-dried tomatoes and the brininess of those olives. Salty Parmesan cheese. Fresh taste of basil and all that lemon zest and juice. This is awesome and perfect. I hope you will try this easy recipe for yourself. Thank you so much for joining me on Bradley the Singing Chef. I hope you will subscribe to this channel so that you can get more easy recipes like this from me. Like and share these videos with your friends if you love them. Try them out. Send me a comment and let me know how it turned out for you in your kitchen. I hope you will eat well, love always. Bon appetit, y'all.